So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now look, I need to share this with you, okay? There are some students who are interested in our UPSC Gurukul course, but they say that they have certain other questions which they want to clarify, okay? Now, there is a very simple way for you to clarify your questions before joining this course. Well, I'll be sharing our WhatsApp number just below this video in the comment section. You can chat with us, okay? Just drop a message on that WhatsApp number, okay? Chat with us, ask all your queries before joining this course, and then let's finally decide to start our journey of securing a rank in next year or next to next year's UPSC examination, okay? So I'm sharing the number in the comment section below, okay? Ask all your queries. Okay, now let's begin today's session, okay? Current affairs is also important, but first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today, okay? So let's begin today's session. So daily current affairs, 22nd August, Friday, and here is the list of topics. And some of these topics are already familiar to you because a lot of hue and cry or a lot of discussion debates have already happened in Parliament and in the media, okay? Nonetheless, we'll discuss the pros and cons and key features of these things. Number one on this list is 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill, which the opposition parties are opposing tooth and nail. So why are they opposing it? Why is this bill being criticized? And what is the justification given by the government to basically pass this bill? Okay, we'll talk about this Constitutional Amendment Bill. Then we'll talk about India-Nepal Lipulekh issue. This is a border dispute between India and Nepal. Yes, for some of you who don't know, there is a border dispute between India and Nepal. Okay, so we'll talk about this Lipulekh issue, okay, the origin of this dispute and what is the situation going forward. Then, well, opposition parties have demanded machine-readable electoral rolls from Election Commission of India. The question is, what do we mean by machine-readable electoral rolls and why are opposition parties demanding this? Okay, and why is Election Commission of India denying this request? We'll talk about all these things. And in the end, we'll talk about another law that is basically tabled in the Parliament by the government, and that is online gaming regulation. We have basically banned online money gaming. Okay, so we'll talk about this bill as well. So these are the four topics that we shall zero in our attention on. Let's start discussing them one by one, starting with topic number one, and that is 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. Now look, the thing is that recently Government of India or Union Cabinet basically tabled a bill, a constitutional amendment bill in Lok Sabha. Okay, now this bill will definitely amend the constitution. Now what is this bill trying to do? In basic terms, okay, in a summarized way, I'll tell you what this bill is trying to do. Well, this bill is saying that if there is any minister, including Prime Minister and Chief Minister, if these people are detained for 30 days for any crime committed by them, okay, for any alleged crime, remember, alleged. For any alleged crime, if they are detained for 30 days, well, they can be disqualified, they shall be removed from their post. And this includes Prime Minister as well as Chief Minister. All ministers are included in this. So if you're in jail for 30 days, even if you're proven innocent later by the court, you'll still be dismissed. Okay, this is the basic object of this bill. Now, this bill will definitely amend certain articles. Okay, we'll talk about those articles. And this bill is basically being criticized by opposition parties all across the political spectrum. They are criticizing this bill for various reasons. We'll talk about those criticisms also. But one thing you need to know, okay, if you already have a good knowledge of polity in your UPSC syllabus, you know this, that for a constitutional amendment bill to pass, well, it needs 2/3 majority in Lok Sabha, 2/3 majority in Rajya Sabha. And for certain types of constitutional amendment bills, not all, certain types, you also need ratification of 50% of state legislatures, right? Yes, some of you know about this. So constitutional amendment bill is not that easy to pass. And it is highly unlikely that this bill is also going to pass in the Parliament. First of all, this bill doesn't require 50% ratification of the states. But even in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the current government does not have enough numbers to get this bill passed. If all opposition parties are going to stay united, well, this bill won't get passed. But someone very wise told me way back that don't predict anything in politics. You can't predict anything in politics. Don't be in the business of prediction. So I'm saying that this bill is highly unlikely to get passed, but you never know what happens in politics. You never know what will happen. Okay. But as of now, it is highly unlikely that this bill will get passed. Nonetheless, the government introduced this bill. Clear? Now, let's talk about the key provisions of this bill. Why is this bill controversial? Why are opposition parties hell-bent against its disapproval? Okay, so let's talk about this. So, 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. Now remember, constitutional amendment, amending of our constitution is covered under Article 368. Okay, and there are two types of constitutional amendments. One that requires 2/3 majority, or let's call it special majority, because it is called special majority in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the other certain types of constitutional amendments not just require special majority, but along with that, it also requires ratification by 50% of India's state legislatures. Okay. Now, this particular bill, 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill, is basically this category, belongs to the first category, that it only requires special majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It doesn't require ratification of the states. Okay. Now, what are the key provisions of this bill? Let's talk about this. So, this bill basically amends certain provisions or certain articles of our constitution. Okay. First of all, this bill seeks to amend various provisions. What are those provisions? Article 75 of our constitution, which deals with central ministers, union ministers, prime minister and his council of ministers. Article 164, which deals with chief minister and his council of ministers at state level, state ministers. And Article 239A, which deals with chief minister and state legislature of Union Territory of Delhi. Clear? Along with that, this bill will also amend J&K Reorganization Act, because, well, these provisions, okay, government wants to apply these provisions to J&K also, the chief minister of J&K, the legislative assembly of J&K. So, J&K Reorganization Act will also be amended. Now, what is so controversial about this bill? Okay, listen to me carefully. Any minister basically can be dismissed if he is detained, he or she detained, basically means jailed, for 30 days for an offense, not just for any offense, for an offense whose punishment period is more than 5 years of jail. So if you are being detained for 30 days for an offense whose jail term is, if you are proven guilty, whose jail term is 2 years, this provision won't apply to you. For all those offenses whose jail period is more than 5 years, and if you are jailed for 30 days, okay, and you're not proven guilty as of now, once you're proven guilty, the sentence will be more than 5 years, okay, but you are just being detained for questioning, police remand, judicial remand, all these things. Clear? If it is for 30 days, then you can be dismissed from your post. Now, what is the procedure for dismissal? Okay, if we are talking about union ministers, okay, remember this. If we are talking about union ministers, then on the 31st day, the prime minister shall advise the president to dismiss this minister. Okay, the prime minister shall advise the president, and president shall dismiss this minister. If the prime minister is biased towards his minister, and if he doesn't advise the president to dismiss this minister, the minister will be dismissed automatically. The president has to do it. It is his constitutional duty. Clear? Then, The same thing applies for chief ministers as well. So on the 31st day, chief minister shall advise the governor to dismiss a particular minister. Again, the same provision applies that if chief minister doesn't do that on 31st day, that minister shall be disqualified automatically. Clear? And the same goes for lieutenant governor in the case of Delhi. So the dismissing authority shall be president, governor, lieutenant governor. Clear? Now one more thing is very important. If the minister is dismissed, but his case is going on in the court, and the court finally finds out that this person is innocent, he's not guilty, he or she, then this person can rejoin as minister. So that can happen, but he'll be dismissed initially. And the idea behind this is that if you are not able to get bail or any relief from court for 30 days, then the allegation on you is serious. Okay, if you're detained by police or judicial remand for 30 days and you cannot even get a normal bail from the court, then the offense for which you are being held is serious. That is why you can't be allowed to continue. Clear? That is the idea. Now the thing is, it all seems very nice. Okay, it all seems very good. Basically, everyone would say that yes, corruption, criminalization of politics is really bad. So yeah, some government is doing something really well. But actually, if you go deeper, well, many experts, constitutional experts, and especially opposition parties are criticizing the government for this because they think that the central government will misuse this law. Okay, so what are the criticisms? Okay, what is the criticism of this bill, constitutional amendment? So let's talk about the criticisms. First of all, well, you should be dismissed when you are found guilty. There is a very important principle of justice, and that is innocent until proven guilty. Clear? But in this case, the minister shall be dismissed even when the case against him is going on. When the case is going on, but the police has asked the court to detain him for questioning for more than 30 days, he can be dismissed. Right? So generally the thing is that presumption of innocence until you are proven guilty, that is undermined. This key principle of justice is undermined by this. Then there is scope for political misuse. Well, there are allegations against the current central government that they are misusing ED, Enforcement Directorate, and CBI for basically going after their political opponents. Now, opposition parties are saying this. I'm not saying this, okay? Opposition parties are saying this, that the central government might fabricate a case against us, send ED after us. The ED can detain us for more than 30 days and then we'll get dismissed. And that can happen for the chief minister of a opposition ruled state, right? So central government can basically misuse ED to dismiss chief ministers and states. So there is scope for misuse, okay? And because central government, by using ED and CBI, can dismiss state ministers, well, this is also a violation of the principle of federalism. Central agencies can be misused to dismiss ministers in states. So this is a violation of federalism. Plus, well, already people are saying that even if this government, even if the ruling party gets numbers in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, this constitutional amendment bill will be challenged in court and court will dismiss it. Let's see what happens. Again, like I said, I'm not in the prediction business. Okay. Plus, this is a erosion of democratic norms. Okay. Yes, criminalization of politics is bad. Yes, like corruption is bad in politics. Yes, that is there. But to take any call on this case is the job of courts. Courts shall decide. Okay. How can the government decide that this minister should be dismissed? Courts will decide. And if a minister is finally proven guilty, he shall be dismissed. But before that, how can the executive dismiss ministers? And that too of state governments. This is a violation of federalism, violation of democratic norms. Yes, plain and simple. Okay. So this is the criticism. But again, well, the government is justifying this bill on various grounds, on 4 grounds. So what is the justification given by the government? So government says that this will uphold constitutional morality. Public servants, ministers are public servants. Public servants should have or should follow high standards of morality because they have public trust. So this law will ensure that, this bill, then it will stop criminalization of politics. Then there will be equivalence with bureaucrats. Bureaucrats can be suspended if they are detained for more than 48 hours. So why not ministers, elected executive, elected bureaucrats? These ministers are in a sense elected bureaucrats, right? So this is the thing. Plus the government says that 30-day period is enough. If you can't prove your innocence within 30-day period with all the lawyers that you have, well, then the offense for which you are being held is very serious. So this is the justification given by the government. By the way, this bill was tabled in Lok Sabha, okay? And now after tabling it, it has been referred to a joint parliamentary committee, okay? This joint parliamentary committee will examine it clause by clause and then give its recommendation. So we'll see what the final shape of this bill will be. Okay, we'll see what is the final shape, because right now it is being scrutinized by joint committee. Now, what is a joint committee? Joint parliamentary committee is a parliamentary committee that is established on an ad hoc basis. Ad hoc means temporary. For example, this committee is established to examine this bill. Once this bill is examined, then this committee will be dissolved. Now, the word joint means that it has generally members from both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Generally, it has 31 members. 21 from Lok Sabha, 10 from Rajya Sabha, generally, but the number can vary. Clear? So this is your joint committee. Simple? Okay. Now let's move forward to another news item, next news item, which is very important, and that is India-Nepal Lipulekh issue. Okay. Now you should know this, that Lipulekh Pass is a pass that lies on the border with China. Okay. And this mountain pass is generally used by Kailash Mansarovar pilgrims who go on pilgrimage to Kailash Mansarovar, okay, in Tibet, right? Plus, this is also a place which is geostrategically sensitive for India. India has deployed a lot of troops in this area to monitor the movement of Chinese army or Chinese infrastructure projects. Plus, a lot of economic trade also happens through this pass, okay? Land trade. Now this pass, this region is very sensitive, very important for India. But Nepal claims that this region belongs to them. Nepal says that currently this region is occupied by India, but it actually belongs to them. Okay. Now, how can Nepal lay claim on this sensitive location that India has? How can Nepal do so? There is a problem. Okay. India claims this region and India currently occupies this region, but Nepal also claims this region. Okay. And recently, well, you know, India-China relationship is warming. So basically, India-China have decided to reopen this Lipulekh Pass for Kailash Mansarovar pilgrims and trade also. India-China have decided that. Now, when India-China decided this, Nepal objected. Nepal say, how can India decide on this? This region belongs to Nepal. So Nepal has raised the dispute again. Okay. And in its own official maps, Nepal considers this territory as part of Nepal. In its own official maps. Okay. So what is this dispute all about? Okay, let's talk about this. So India-Nepal Lipulekh issue. Okay. So this is the issue. So as you can see, this is Nepal. This is India, this is China. And this region, this shaded region is claimed by Nepal. But it is currently occupied by India. India has a lot of troops over here, okay. This is the Lipulekh Pass, from where pilgrims go to Kailash Mansarovar. Then this has a sensitive region called Kalapani and Limpiudhara Pass also is here. Clear? Make sense? Now, this entire region which is shaded is known as Limpiudhara, Kalapani and Lipulekh region. And this entire Limpiudhara, Kalapani, Lipulekh region is claimed by Nepal. Now, why does Nepal claim this territory? What is their basis for claiming this territory? Let's talk about this. So their basis comes from 1816 Treaty of Sugauli between Nepal and British East India Company. So British East India Company and Nepal fought a war, and then that war ended in a treaty. That treaty is known as Treaty of Sugauli. This Treaty of Sugauli basically established the border between Nepal and British India. And this treaty said that the Kali River shall form the border between British India and Nepal. Okay, so Kali River will be the border. Now the dispute is, and listen to me carefully, Nepal believes, okay, the dispute is with respect to origin of this river. Nepal says that Kali River originates from this area and it flows like this, okay, and it enters Nepal. So Nepal says that this is Kali River, the trajectory of Kali River, okay, that is why this entire territory belongs to us, because this Kali River was the border between India and Nepal as per the understanding between British and Nepalese monarchy, right? India says that Kali River originates in Kalapani and this is the border. It originates in Kalapani. So this entire region belongs to India, including Lipulekh, Kalapani and Limpiudhara. So basically the dispute is with respect to the origin of this river, and it is very difficult to decide the origin of river in hilly areas because many streams combine to create a river. Then this river diverges into many streams, nalas, small rivulets. So it is very difficult. That is why Nepal believes it's Limpiudhara, India believes it's Kalapani. Okay, though as of now this entire region is occupied by India and it is strategically very important. Clear? Now the thing is that this is the dispute. Now you understand the dispute. The thing is, and it is very simple, okay? Well, until Nepal always believed that this area belongs to them, but Nepal never raised any issue with India. Okay, there was this common understanding that yes, Nepal believes this area belongs to them, but they won't raise any dispute or any issue with India because India and Nepal had friendly relations. But Nepal started raising this issue in 2020. And from then onwards, Nepal has been very aggressive about this. And Indian defense experts are saying that the reason why Nepal is getting very aggressive about this is because China is asking Nepal to do so with India. During KP Sharma Oli's tenure, when he was the Prime Minister in 2020 of Nepal, he was very close with China. Indian defense experts believe that because of this close relationship between Nepal and China, China asked Nepal to raise this dispute because China is not happy with Indian troop movement around this region on this border. So it wanted to create some irritants for India. And what better way to create an irritant than a friendly country raising a border dispute? So that is the whole game. Now, why is this territory significant for India? Why is this territory significant? Okay, significance of this region. First of all, geostrategic, because in this area lies close to LAC, line of actual control. And Indian troops can do proper surveillance and monitor the troop movement, infrastructure movement of People's Liberation Army of China. So geostrategic. Defense also, it is very important. Then religious significance. I told you Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage happens through this region, right? Now, Indians generally go to Tibet for Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage through two routes. One is Lipulekh Pass, which is in Uttarakhand, and the other is Nathula Pass. Okay, that is in Sikkim. Generally, Sikkim route is preferred, but traditionally Lipulekh route is also taken. Okay, so religious significance, and it is a trade route also, economic land trade. So this is the significance of the region, and that is why India feels a little worried that why is Nepal now saying all of this? But it is doing that. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now let's quickly shift our focus to third news item, which is machine readable electoral rolls. Now this is very simple. Okay, we won't spend that much time on it. Very simple to understand. Now what is machine readable electoral rolls? For that you need to understand what electoral rolls are, right? So what are electoral rolls? So electoral rolls are, well, basically it is nothing but voters list. So electoral rolls is a list in which the names of all the eligible voters is written. Okay, so it is basically voters list. Now this voters list is prepared by Election Commission of India and it is displayed online. Clear? Now obviously India's population is huge, right? Therefore this voters list is long, very long. It becomes very difficult to find your name in that voters list if you have that voters list in bulk. Okay, very difficult to search for your name, or very difficult to search for your friends or family members' name. It is very difficult to check whether your name is included or not. Many things are there. Okay, for citizens, not for Election Commission officials. For them it is easy, not for citizens. Okay, so the thing is that, well, this list, this voters list is displayed online, but it is displayed in an image PDF format. Okay, you cannot search for any name on this. It is just an image. You can't copy, paste, cut, do anything on this PDF. It is just an image. Clear? Now, what opposition parties are asking is, opposition parties are telling Election Commission of India to create this list in a text form. So this will be a text-based PDF file. You understand, text-based PDF file. You can select any item, and you can search for any name also. You just have to press Ctrl+F, then write the name, and that name would get searched. That happens in text-based PDFs. But text-based PDFs are not allowed. Okay, not allowed as in Election Commission does not publish text-based PDFs. That is why many political parties are finding it really difficult to search for various names of their supporters, their voters in that electoral roll list. Clear? And that is why they are demanding that this electoral roll list should be text-based, so that you put this list in any machine and this machine can quickly basically search for names and all that. That is why we call it machine readable electoral rolls. You understand the whole point? Currently only image based PDF files are shared, which you can't do anything about it. You just can see. You can't search. No computer of yours can search for names on this. Opposition parties are demanding a machine readable electoral roll. That's about it. Very simple. Okay, so let's quickly do this. Let's quickly cover this, and then we'll discuss what reasons are given by Election Commission of India to deny publishing text-based electoral rolls. Clear? So let's talk about this. Okay, so machine readable electoral rolls. So simply put, electoral rolls are voters list. Okay, now the job of preparing electoral rolls lies with Election Commission of India. Now Election Commission of India gets this power from, first of all, Article 324 of the Constitution and Representation of People's Act 1950. Sorry, not this act. Representation of People's Act 1950, which gives exclusive powers to Election Commission of India to prepare these electoral rolls. Clear? Now you know the entire controversy behind machine readable and image based, right? Now, what are the arguments given by Election Commission of India? What are they saying? What reasons they gave to deny publishing machine readable electoral rolls? So their reasons are as following. First of all, they said that the Supreme Court has already given its verdict on this. Okay, in 2018 there was this famous case called Kamal Nath, which is who is a Congress leader, versus Election Commission of India. Kamal Nath, the Congress leader, was asking Supreme Court to direct Election Commission of India to publish this machine readable electoral rolls. Supreme Court categorically denied. So Election Commission is saying that we are not bound. Even Supreme Court has said that we are not bound to produce this list. So this is reason number one. We are not bound. Reason number two is privacy concern. Anyone can search for anyone's name, their address, other personal details, okay, and do whatever they want. So there is privacy concern also if you allow for it to search, if you allow this facility of search. Then, well, political parties can use this list to search, to basically do surveillance on their voters. They will get the data that from this polling booth, okay, we did not get any votes. Now, who were the voters on this polling booth? They'll get a list. They'll search for people, their address, and they will send their goons, not just goons, people, to ask, why didn't you vote for us? All of this can happen, right? So there is this surveillance risk also. And Election Commission is saying that you already have an alternative. Okay, these image-based PDF, these image-based PDF can be converted into searchable PDF, machine readable. It can be converted into machine readable PDF by a technology called OCR, optical character recognition. So this technology can convert image PDF into machine readable PDF. You can do it. Okay, so political parties can do it. So there is already an alternative. The problem is that this technology is expensive and time consuming also. So it is very expensive and rarely people use this technology. It is actually expensive. Now, Election Commission is saying spend some money if you really want machine readable PDFs. Okay, that's the entire issue. Clear? Okay. Now let's quickly jump our focus to online gaming regulation. Okay. Now you must know this, that there are so many online games which involve money also. And their advertisements were actually on every YouTube video, every YouTube short, every billboard, every TV ad had this play Ludo online, play Dream 11 during IPL. There were so many online money games, right? They were going on. Now, with just one stroke of pen, Government of India has decided to ban all these online money games. Remember, government is not banning all online games because government believes that some online games are social in nature, some online games are recreational in nature, some online games are educational also. You use these online games to educate kids also. We are not banning them. Okay, we are only banning those online games which require money, where money is involved. Okay, so government has come out with a bill to regulate the online gaming sector, and in that it has completely banned online money gaming sector. Okay, so what are the provisions of this bill? Okay, and what reasons were given by the government to do this? We'll talk about all these things. Okay, so let's quickly talk about this. So online gaming regulation. So the bill was tabled in Lok Sabha. Basically, it has also been passed by Lok Sabha. So what does this bill do? So the name of the bill is Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming 2025. Now this bill divides online games into three categories. Esports. Esports is where you, like Dream 11, okay, where you build your teams, okay, and you basically, that is their fantasy leagues, where you build your teams and you know about Dream 11, you build your own team, you take players and you compete against other people who are building their own teams. You understand esports. Okay, remember, Dream 11 would have been allowed had no money was involved, had no money been there. Okay, nonetheless, esports, these are there. Then online social games, like you're playing Ludo, Carom, chess online without money. So there are three categories of games: esports, online social games, online money games. Online money games have been completely prohibited. Online social and educational games, esports, they are promoted. Okay, and the bill also establishes an online gaming authority. This online gaming authority will regulate the entire online gaming sector. Okay, it will regulate the entire online gaming sector, create policy, make recommendations. Okay, so that basically this online gaming authority will promote esports, will promote online social games, but it prohibits online money games. Okay, make sense? Now, this bill has a lot of provisions. Basically, if government finds that someone is still continuing with online money games, well, there are penalties, jail term, a lot of things are there. Okay, so with one stroke of pen, government has completely banned, or government has impacted crores and crores of investment in these online money gaming platforms. Many companies mushroomed, many people were employed in this. A lot of foreign investment came into this gaming sector, online money gaming sector. Government has completely finished it. Okay, only games, online games with no money involved would be allowed. Clear? Now, what reasons did the government give? That why is it banning online money games? First of all, they say that when money is involved, these online games become addictive. And people are addicted to pay money and they become bankrupt. Many people have become bankrupt because of gambling. Because these money games are akin to gambling. And gambling basically ruins you, ruins families. So government wants to stop that. Then there were a lot of cases with respect to depression, mental health and suicides also. Kids were committing suicides, okay. Mental health problems. When you owe someone money, there are mental health problems. Gambling does that, right? In fact, do you know what? World Health Organization has a list of diseases, okay. It is known as International Classification of Disorders. In that, it has named a disease called gaming disorder. This is when a person is addicted to games so that he doesn't take care of his family, his work, nothing. He's just addicted to gaming. Okay. This gaming disorder has been classified as a disease by WHO. It is a disease. WHO has included it in the list of diseases. So it is a disease which government is trying to basically prohibit. Okay. Then these online gaming platforms were used by terrorists, criminal organizations to launder money. You know what laundering money is? Money laundering is basically converting your black money into white money. If white money is a term, okay, white money is, by the way, no term, but black money into legal money. This is what money laundering is. These drug cartels, terrorist organizations were using these gaming platforms, money gaming platforms for that. How? I'll explain that in another video. How these online money gaming platforms are used for money laundering. I'll explain it later, okay? But just remember this. Plus, because terrorists can now launder money, drug cartels can now launder money through these online gaming platforms. Obviously, it is a threat to national security, okay? And through this law, government is trying to close all legal loopholes. Because you see, gambling is already regulated. There are many state laws in India. Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is already there, which regulates gambling. But online gambling was outside this. Online gambling was not regulated. Now, online gambling has also been regulated, not just regulated, banned. So, this legal loophole where gambling went online because there was no law for online gambling has been closed. Clear? And that's about it. With that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it could add more value if you are consistent and regular with this lecture series and you do revise this lecture from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel. Okay? And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.